This is Jessica.
This is Kelly, the Chasing Brighter podcast.
We're sisters. This is Jessica. I'm in Las Vegas. Kelly, where are you at?
I'm in Chicago.
Why are we qualified, or are we qualified to host a podcast?
Because we have a lot of opinions, and we have also been on our own personal journey of finding and discovering the best version of ourselves. And we feel like a lot of our friends are in the same boat. And, a lot of us are really hard on ourselves. And I think what we've learned through our own discovery is just learning about ourselves and how to live our best lives.
Do you think you're a resource for people? You know what I mean? Like, do you think people come to you and are like, how'd you do that? Or where'd you get that? Or
yeah. I spend a lot of time researching, analyzing, and completely overthinking some decisions I make. So when I get to that decision, I feel pretty good about it. And people come to me definitely with advice and questions that happen to be on topics that I've done a lot of research myself on.
Me too. One would be, okay, same, right? So for me too, for sure, shopping, right? Like, where'd you get that? Would you
Absolutely.
say you're passionate about fashion?
Yes. And you and I have different tastes too. And I feel like that's the benefit of the podcast too, is we both are coming from very different perspectives. We grew up in the same household, but yet we're different people. And we continue to grow closer as sisters as we get to know ourselves and each other.
What else are things you're passionate about? Books. You're a crazy reader. I'm a crazy reader. Is there a word for a person who's an obsessive reader?
Yeah, it's called a bookworm. We learned that in
I was thinking
first
of like
grade.
Something file, literal file.
Bibliophile, right?
Maybe, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We've got someone obsessed with words. Okay. We love reading, right? So we're going to talk about books. We're going to talk about fashion. We're going to talk about personal journeys, spirituality, family, travel, childhood. I mean, can we get away from our childhood? Is that possible? Or
it's who we are. It's part of how we are who we are. It shapes us as people. And I think part of our own journey has been delving into that ourselves and facing it in a lot of ways in a way that helps us discover how we became who we are.
And I think, like, in addition to being an amazing podcast host duo, right, we have other things going on. I'm a mom of 3. I've got a teenager and a tween, and then a little 7-year-old. But those teenagers and the tween, they're giving me a run for my money. I'm also a mental health therapist with my own practice, specializing in anxiety-based disorders, OCD, PTSD, anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder. Definitely a lot of trauma in my life over here. And I want to hear about your day-to-day, but also I'm obsessed. I think I'm just nosy, right? We want to interview people. I love hearing people's stories.
It's just curious about humans in general, and discovering how other people think, and how I think the desire for human connection, right, which is part of all of us getting fulfillment out of life. And so I think that's definitely a part of it, is learning about other people and connecting with them in different ways. I'm a mom of 2 boys, and I have my own consulting company that I've been doing for over 5 years. And I did that as a way of finding more work-life balance. So running my own company gives me a lot of freedom to, have flexibility in my schedule so I can have both a career and be the mom I want to be, and also, make sure I'm allowing time for self-care.
Yeah. And I think too, when you're talking about people's stories, I'm fascinated on so many fronts, like how someone can have so much trauma and so much happen to them, but have such a positive outlook. Like I
And
want
be
that,
so
right?
resilient.
How they
Absolutely.
get that. Because, and then it's right, people in the same household, right? One is successful and another one, right, is addicted to drugs or alcohol or struggles with being a functioning person. And that just fascinates me. I know we're going to deep dive into our own stuff, right? And just kind of how, what we've been through and what we've learned about ourselves. So really, this is for people to join our journey of self-discovery.
Yeah. And we want them to learn, right? We want them to learn from us. We're by no means experts. This is our own journey that we're sharing with others. And really what we want to do is inspire. We want to inspire other women to do the same. Live their best version of themselves. We've all had, traumatic experiences in different ways, shapes, or forms. And as we go through life, figure out ways to capitalize on that experience to make us better and help make our world better. So tune in to our podcast, Chasing Brighter.
Dropping in June 2022. That's all for today. Thanks for listening.
And don't forget to follow us on chasingbrighter.com or on YouTube at Chasing Brighter,